Hello, my name is Brooke, and today I will be talking about non-traditional students on a college campus. During this presentation, I will go over the definition of a typical non-traditional student, some important demographics that pertain to how to support them, the relevance of defining them as non-traditional, the challenges they face, and areas in which they need the most support. The National Center for Education Statistics defines non-traditional students as meaning one of 7 characteristics. These characteristics are delayed enrollment into post-secondary education, attending college part-time, working full-time, is financially independent for financial aid purposes, has dependents other than a spouse, is a single parent, or does not have a high school diploma. According to the National Center for Educational Statistics, non-traditional students are also usually over 24 years of age. The information presented will be based off of students that fall under this definition. Looking at the demographics of non-traditional students, they typically fall under moderately non-traditional and highly non-traditional. Keeping in mind the definition of a non-traditional student from the previous slide, a moderately non-traditional student is considered those who have 2 or 3 characteristics, and those with 4 or more characteristics are considered highly non-traditional. Moderately non-traditional students made up to 25 to 31% of undergraduates in 3 NPSAS surveys and tended to be older than typical, independent, and attended part-time. Looking at highly non-traditional students, in addition to the characteristics associated with moderately non-traditional students, about 2/3 of highly non-traditional students either had dependents or worked full-time, and about 1/4 were single parents. Highly non-traditional students accounted for 1 in 4 undergraduates in 3 NPSAS surveys. The chart to the right shows that students who are identified as non-traditional, according to the presented criteria, are more likely to be women, to belong to a racial ethnic minority group, and to have less educated parents than the traditional students. We continue to use the term non-traditional, but is that really how they should be labeled? People over 25 or those with children are enrolling in college classes. So many that nearly 74% of American undergraduate students are non-traditional now. Non-traditional students also outnumber those who start as 18-year-old freshmen supported by their parents, according to data from RTI International. More and more individuals are coming to get their degree since there is a higher demand for higher educated employees in the workforce. Because of this, adults are heading back to college or enrolling for the first time, perhaps years after high school or getting their GED. Non-traditional students not only face some of the typical challenges that traditional students do, but they have their own unique challenges as well. In some cases, they may not have attended school for a decade or 2. Because of this, their study skills may not be what they used to, and some may have forgotten what they previously learned. Something that adds to their feelings of being unfamiliar are the current technologies being utilized. Being out of school for a long period of time can also lead to them being anxious about returning. The second biggest challenge that they face are the personal and family circumstances that make them more vulnerable to not completing their degree. Not being able to afford college or have the financial support is an issue, along with figuring out how they will be able to divide their attention between work, family, and school. Ways we can support non-traditional students and the challenges that they go through on a daily basis include financial support, designing courses accordingly, and looking at the rules enforced within the classrooms. Professors can help provide financial relief by having materials online, creating inexpensive course packs, or taking other steps to lower the cost of books and supplies. Designing courses accordingly means taking a look at the coursework and making sure that the non-traditional students will stay engaged. In order to help them adjust to taking courses again, being able to utilize refresher sessions will help reinforce basic skills that they need in their coursework. Offering extra help in class and in office hours will help them feel supported as well. Help demonstrate relevance by giving real-life examples that can be applied. Being able to show the connections to what they are learning in class and how it applies in the real world will allow non-traditional students to better retain the information, and it will also show them a fair exchange for their time, effort, and money that they are investing. Structuring assignments in class to mimic real-life work situations that they will come across helps enforce this mindset as well. Many rules for the classroom are made specifically for students who may ditch class or turn in late coursework because they do not want to do it. Coming in late to class or being unable to attend a session is presented as a different obstacle for non-traditional students, and penalizing them the same way you would a traditional student could drive away non-traditional students and lead them to believe that college is not for them. Being able to accommodate non-traditional students may mean that you have to change the rules for the entire class, or at least allow them to explain their situation and be flexible with them. Another way to support non-traditional students is to make sure that they feel welcome. Roll out the welcome mat, not only within the classroom, but also on the campus as a whole. Make sure they feel valued and that their life and their experiences are just as important as the material they are learning in class. Reaching out and helping them find their way to fit in can help with their anxious thoughts about not fitting in with the other students. Helping them feel included and supported for who they are coming in can have a large positive impact on their outlook and mindset of their surroundings.